Scrappy Peeps, Suzanna here today for Ellie's Studio, and it is release day of the April kit, so I am sharing with you this layout created using the April kit and add-ons. So last month there was this really cool stamp set that had these same shapes, only now you get this in a pattern paper as well as the metal dies that coordinate with this, which is super awesome because they are not the standard size of like a 1-inch circle, and so these are awesome because they also have the little ruffled edges or scalloped edges, and so you can get the perfect cutout with the perfect white border with these. So this is a new paper stack. This paper stack is called the best paper stack because it really is the best paper stack. And so I'm going to use these metal dies and I'm going to cut a bunch of these circles out. What I really am looking for is just the purple, yellow, red, and the corally color. But while I'm doing it, I'm just going to go ahead and do all of them. I will spare you the agony of having to watch that, but I will run at least 2 or 3 of the dies through each time. I am using pixie tape. It is a super awesome reusable adhesive tape from Thermoweb or iCraft that holds your die in place. Even though I'm working on a metal platform, they tend to the dies can repel each other. And so those are a great way of holding your dies down, especially when you want the perfect alignment like these. So this is one of the 4x6 cards. You can see I have cut it up because I want to use it as a layer behind my photos. So I have 4 photos here. They are wallet size photos. I have an action in Photoshop, and so it allows me to create these 4 wallet size photos with a white border. I can choose a white border or not. And so what I want to do is I want to create 4 clusters that are going to go down the left-hand side of the page. And then as you'll see, I do this a lot. This is kind of one of my go-to standbys is I'm going to do something on the left-hand side of the page with a long border, and then I'll typically do a short border on the right-hand side with some journaling cards. And that is my intent on what I'm going to do on the right-hand side there. So I'm cutting up these colored strips from the best paper stack, and I'm going to use the colors that are relevant to my particular color palette that I am working with here. When we reference design principles, I typically have a trio, and I have a visual triangle that I like to use on my page. All of those design principles have gone out the window as there is more than, there are a lot of embellishments on this page, and really there isn't a visual triangle. It is kind of a busy page, but because you have all of that white space of the white background that I'm working on, you do get a pause for your eye, and the contrast is really what leads your eye down the page here. So to the right, I have the labels. Those are the April 2022 labels, and I will somehow try and integrate those into what's going on over here on the left-hand side. So I want to put the photos so that they're not just going straight down the page, so that there's a little bit of movement that moves your eye down the page. So I'm going to stagger the photos. I'm also going to stagger the placement of those photos and those background pieces from the 4x6 card onto the different layers from this particular piece of pattern paper that I have cut up. That movement just kind of it keeps your eye from being bored, from being mundane, as it moves down the page there. So you can see how the different placement of these on the strips adds a little visual interest to the page there. Now I could have bannered some of them, but my intent all along was that I was going to zigzag stitch either through the photo or through the pattern paper, and I will sort of haphazardly decide how that's going to happen as I move down the page. So I will adhere those strips to the page so that I can then decide where it is that I want to zigzag stitch. I am going to zigzag stitch with a purple thread just because that ends up being my primary color. And I knew that that would be my primary color because that is the color of the Fuchsia Puffy Alpha stickers that come this month with the add-ons, as well as the light Fuchsia Basic Shape cardstock stickers. So excuse me while I go off to my machine. It is not on my scrappy desk, and you can see there where I've done the stitching. So it looks good, but I want to pull a little bit more color into the left-hand side, and I have so many embellishments to choose from. As I always do, I pull my color palette before I work, so you can see that I have the die cuts from the kit are in my little collection there on the left hand side. There's some pink in there as well, but I really want to stick more with that reddy color, although I will put some sort of pink in there. Most of what is that lighter color in there is going to be the light red or that corally color. So I like dimensions, so I'm going to get my giant roll of double-sided foam tape there and just pop up some of these circles. I also want to incorporate the puffy stickers that come this month. If you have not checked out the new releases, be sure to head over to the link in my description box down below, because that will link you to the store, and it will show you the super awesome, you have got to grab these before they sell out because they are going to sell out, but the flower puffy stickers, which I will add, as well as the flower die cuts. So it's a kind of a misnomer because while the flowers in it are also super awesome, Elle has brought those back from last year, but there are also some super cool labels and circles as well that give you some great color to and embellishments to your kit, and to supplement that and add the flowers for spring are just absolutely perfect. I remember absolutely loving them last year and saving them because I was like, oh, how am I gonna they're one of those things that it's a commodity. So be sure to check. I will use them, but I use them again sparingly because I know that I could go overboard with them. So here I am just adding the dimension again with the die cuts and the various other elements that you've seen me already pre-cut and arrange. Again, I'm looking for variety from cluster to cluster as we move down the page there. So I have arranged where I'm going to do my journaling on that right hand side there. So now you can see where I pull in these other elements. So I debated long and hard here whether I was going to leave that pattern paper strip or just have the pieces poking out over the top and the bottom of the cards there. And I opted to go for the pieces poking out over the top and the bottom. There's so much horizontal movement in the page already that I didn't want to add that really bold movement to it. So these are the flowers that I'm referring to, the flower die cuts. And you can see I'm going to pull out more than just flowers. You can see that there are labels as well as some circles and circle phrases. And so I'm going to intersperse some more color into each of these clusters here. I like these labels because they add a touch of white to the clusters, which again adds to that break that your eye is going to get. And again, not all of the labels are going to serve a purpose. They're not necessarily going to house a date or journaling, because the journaling is going to go on the right hand side. They're more just decorative elements and adding to that horizontal movement on the page. So just using some adhesive dot roller to get those down. This particular piece here that says Beauty Everywhere, I am going to move, and the reason I'm going to move it is because I feel like it's obstructing the banner that is built into that 3x4 card there, and I don't like the way that the shapes intermingle, and so I want to add a little bit more continuity of those shapes and structure. So I really liked that yellow heart die cut over there, but I knew I had these really awesome puffy stickers. So these are the warm puffy heart and star stickers. And so you can see I like that outline shape better there rather than that glaring yellow, because it was a much brighter yellow than most of the yellow that is in the layout there. So I'm going to intersperse some of the hearts that are there, as well as just use that little phrase that says happiness. And I love that pop of red right there on the right hand side, as well as this pop here that says simply the best. I have to apologize for my somewhat slurred speech. It's not slurred. I am super, super tired. We got back from Portugal Saturday, late Saturday night, and jet lag is just killing me today. So those are the fuchsia basic shapes. I'm going to use those two, the asterisks, large asterisks and small asterisks there, and now I'm going to use the same fuchsia colored puffy stickers in order to get my title, which is going to say Budgie Love. I'm just going to use Budgie with the purple, and then I will write in love, but you can see that I'm going to put a purple heart here. So also released this month, you get the basic shapes stamp, both the outline as well as the solid. I don't need the solid because you can see I've used the fuchsia, but I am going to use the outline to just add a little bit of emphasis to these basic shapes. I will do that for all three shapes that I've used here. Super, super awesome way of just getting some basic shapes integrated into your layouts. I'm not a super big flower girl. I love these flowers, and you will have seen a fair number of flowers on projects that I have done lately, but I am more of a basic shape person, and so these are going to be super useful in my stash across the years, really. So this is where I move that purple, and you can see how that allows that banner that's in the journal card to stand out a little bit more, but I am going to use the yellow label here to just add that little bit and tie it in and integrate that purple that says beauty everywhere into the page a little bit better. I have that remnant from the yellow, so I just stuck that in, and that, my friends, is going to wrap up the layout. I am going to write love under the title there. Enjoy the close-ups. If you have any questions about any of the new products, please don't hesitate to leave them in the box down below. I hope you are doing well. Enjoy the close-ups. Thanks for stopping in today, and don't forget to visit the store and stock up on all of these great products.